Coming up today, the dollar is coming back just a little bit after a big sell-off. We have a rally with DJT, some great news to cover. We have a lot to cover for a nuclear bill that came out that can move the markets a decent amount, especially with power stocks. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Apple stock and what to expect if they do move to the US, and or are they just going to eat the tariffs? We got the biggest symbol out there right now, and that's Nvidia's earnings coming out. We got a lot to talk about, what to expect, and some plays that you guys can make, and a lot more with the overall stock market. So last week we did inch down lower because of the tariffs imposed on European markets, and overall iPhones and Samsung even got into that 25% tariff overall. We did get a pause on the European 50% tariffs, and SPY is honestly already itching up higher, breaking some key levels already, and we might even be able to see it past that 590 level today, and maybe even get some more momentum to the upside. This is for the people that want to take their trading to the next level. I made an option course linked below. It tells you guys everything that you guys need to know, how to find the right option, how to read charts, and option strategies, because a lot of people don't know about option strategies, and there's a way to not lose that much money, risk a little bit less. With that being said, man, you'll make your money back in the first trading day. Check it out if you guys want. Thank you. But let's talk a little bit more about the bill. So basically on May 23rd, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order to boost the U.S. nuclear energy sector by streamlining regulations, speeding up reactor approvals, and promoting advanced nuclear technologies, and securing domestic uranium supplies. The order aims to quadruple nuclear capacity by 2050, and it is mainly to support the AI data centers. And if you guys don't understand, AI eats up a lot of power, and we need basically double or even triple the power that we have right now to support all of the AI data centers. And especially in the future, with more and more data centers being made, we just need more and more power. It's also to counter China's global nuclear dominance. Nuclear stocks like Nano Nuclear Energy, you guys can look at, Oklo, and NuScale Power surged on May 23rd, despite broader market declines due to tariff threats and rising treasury yields. Now let's talk about the overall dollar, because we were selling off a decent amount, but we are breaking some levels going to the upside. So the dollar hit a 5-week low. All-time highs is 164.7, and that was in 1985 during a period of strong dollar appreciation due to high U.S. interest rates and global conditions. And then the lows of 70.6 in 2008 during the global financial crisis. And basically, I just wanted to kind of give that as an example to kind of tell you guys why it reached some highs and why it reached some lows, so you guys understand the dollar overall. And the medium or the baseline basically of $100 is basically what can really show you if we're above or below certain conditions. So when it's above the level, it's basically the value is higher, and when it's below, the value is lower basically. But if the dollar does keep falling and we don't basically get to that $100 level or above, you're going to see assets like gold, silver, and Bitcoin up. And honestly, Bitcoin is a new safe haven, and we do want to talk about Bitcoin a little bit more. And also keep in mind that June 1st, we do have trade talks, so that can move the market positively or negatively. But honestly, to talk about the safe assets like gold, silver, stuff like that, we're going to get more into gold a little bit later, and silver, just to talk about like how it kind of shifted with this new tariff news. And honestly, Bitcoin, you might be able to see the shift a little bit more, but I think Bitcoin's just hype. So honestly, the lows, I think what we can get to is maybe 95,000 if we do start selling off. But honestly, people are hyping up Bitcoin, saying that it can hit like 115,000, 150,000, and 250,000 by the end of the year. So that is insane. So some stocks to watch with that. One would be MSTR, because MSTR benefits a great amount, and also Coinbase. It's another one that benefits. But one that I like to tell you guys about is IBIT, just because if you guys want to play these swing trades, day trades, anything like that, you guys can do options on IBIT, and it's relatively cheap. If we go to May 30th, just this week, it is $200 for in the money play. So honestly, I do recommend checking out IBIT if you guys do want to trade, the Bitcoin trend, and especially if we start scaling up even higher, get some new highs, you can make a decent amount of money off of that. So keep that in mind for Bitcoin overall. So how much an iPhone could cost if we did make it in the US. So basically, we're not really getting no news that they're going to move to the US or anything like that. So don't keep that like on your radar or anything. But honestly, these 25% tariffs can bring up iPhone prices, but not as much as it would be if we did move it to the US. But basically, estimates, right? These are just estimates. They could probably do it faster. They have a lot of money, but estimates if Apple moved to the US, it would take around 5 to 10 years just to do. So it will suffer the tariffs anyway, unless they can make a deal. And then also, phone prices would go up to around $3,500. Like, imagine getting your new iPhone and it's $3,500. I don't even think that would be worth it at that point. People would upgrade every 5 iPhones at this point. So sales will go down lower. You cost more. It's just honestly insane. So honestly, I think they're just going to eat the tariffs, a 25% tariff, and it's not even going to be as bad as moving it to the US. So I did want to show you guys Bitcoin versus gold, just to kind of give you guys an example of how everything's really trading. Gold is indeed going to move slower, of course, because Bitcoin is way more volatile, and we're getting way more. Honestly, Bitcoin is like the new version of gold, and a lot of people are basically hyping up Bitcoin overall. But back on gold, so gold is getting some losses because the EU and the US trade talks are honestly, man, getting better. Basically, if we do get trade talks and it's negative, you're gonna see gold basically go up higher. And then if you see something that's great for trade talk, just like this, it's going to go down lower basically. So trade based on news, honestly, for gold, because people are going to go into gold, sell out of tech stocks and stuff like that, go into gold once stocks and the overall market certainty ain't really looking that good. And then once market certainty is going up higher, people are going to sell out of their gold and then get, the tech stocks and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. So let's talk about Nvidia. So Nvidia earnings are not easily predictable because honestly, even if they beat earnings, sometimes they can go down. It's mainly the meeting afterwards. They can beat expectations, and then if they talk heavily or talk great about Nvidia afterwards, and or just announce something great, and or the tariffs can bring down the stock after the talks and questions and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. Make sure you guys watch the meeting afterwards. But the markets has not done a great job of predicting earnings. Nvidia has beat their EPS and had positive financials annually on average with improving margins. Basically, generally over the last 12 quarters, Nvidia rises into the days before earnings and rallies after the initial move a few days later, generally up 10% in 21 days after earnings. However, right now it's up and up 20%. 2 days into earnings, on average, it's only 8% higher right before earnings, sorry. Over the last 11 quarters, Nvidia has largely implied moves, with the move being smaller than previous moves, honestly just losing hype overall. The moves themselves have not been within the expected move bonds 5 of the last 11 times, meaning that generally Nvidia earnings are not well defined by market makers. Nvidia has only fallen below its expected move once after the last 12 earnings, generally hitting above. So honestly, mainly for the Nvidia earnings, man, I do recommend just watching the meeting afterwards, see what they announce. I really want to see what they announced with the tariffs. Are they really losing that much money that can bring the stock down? And they came out with a new Blackwell chip for China, and I want to hear more about that a little bit more. So some more tariff live updates. So EU agrees to speed up the trade talks with the US, focusing on chips and autos. So keep Nvidia and AMD chip stocks on your radar, and auto stocks too at the same time. Also, we might see tests to the downside because they're basically missing out as the Model Y fails to revive the sales, and they did drop 49% in April from a year earlier, and it just keep on going down basically for Tesla overall. But the overall EV car sales rose by 27.8%, so honestly showing that it's mainly just Tesla that's falling. TSMC will open a European chip design center in Munich, Germany, so keep this in mind for TSMC. We also are going to talk about earnings overall. So we do have Nvidia on Wednesday after close. And honestly, other ones that I'm kind of hyped for is Best Buy. And of course, Costco. It's going to show, consumer spending and stuff like that. But that's mainly it for the earnings that I'm pumped up for. Comment down below what you guys are pumped up for. You guys can also screenshot this list too. So in yesterday's video, I went through the earnings calendar a little bit more, but we're mainly just going to look at Tuesday, which is today, and honestly just talk about what all is going on. So we do got some speeches in Tokyo, one at 4 a.m. and one also at 8 p.m. So keep that in mind. And then also durable good orders, and then some transportation. That's going to be an hour before market opens. And we do have S&P Core Logic Case Home Price Index, and that will be 30 minutes before market opens. And we do have consumer confidence 30 minutes after market opens. So keep all of this on your radar for today, because it might shift your stock if you guys are investing. So honestly, just be careful. So DJT, man, we got a lot of good news with DJT. They got that $3 billion for crypto, and they also rallied on reports that it will dilute shareholders. So honestly, look at DJT to the upside. We are looking pretty decent right now. So honestly, look at that $30 level. If we break above that, look at 32.5 and then 35 and then that $40 level to the upside. You can make a decent amount of money off of this, and I do recommend watching this today. But honestly, just have your patience and go with the flow, basically. Next one we're going to talk about is Palantir, because Palantir is kind of looking a little bit more bearish, but we did break some key levels. So honestly, next up is going to be 130, 132.5, 135, and then all the way up to that 140 level, but only if we can keep this rally up to the downside. 126.5, 125, 123.5, 122, 120, and then 115 to the downside. But we do got some news with Palantir overall. So big names and inside selling is honestly happening, and it's happening at the same time. So we have CEO selling $50 million. We got CTO selling, CFO, president, and secretary. A lot of people are selling. It's a lot of insider selling. There could be many reasons on this. They could be seeing that, maybe the stock is overvalued or anything like that, and or they're probably just taking profits. But keep that in mind if you guys do want to trade Palantir today, because this can really make a shift, honestly, and honestly make it look a little bit more bearish. But watch those levels today, because honestly, man, we might be going up to a bullish rally at the same time. Watch the overall SPY too if you guys are trading, because honestly, all stocks are opening up higher. But for this overall SPY, let's talk about some levels. So that 590 is going to be a key level. If we can break above that, look at 592.5, 595, and that 600 level. Honestly, I think we need more news to push this stock upwards, but this is a big move upwards anyway. To the downside, look at 585.5, 583.5, and that 580 level. If you break down below that, look at the lows of 573.25. Apple, we are kind of looking bearish. Didn't really jump up as much as other stocks, but to the upside, look at that 200 level. If we can break above that, we might make a little bit more of a push upwards. Buyers might come in a little bit more. Look at that 201.5, 202, 205, and then all the way up to that 208 level, to that 210. To the downside, if we do start selling off again, look at 197.5, 196, and 194.5, and then all the way down to that 190 level. We are looking kind of bearish, but I mean, somehow get some good news out of Apple, we can look a little bit better. Nvidia is looking great. Honestly, man, I want to see if we can break above the highs of 137.5. If we can break above that, look at 140, 145, and 150. Earnings is coming up. Have your patience. And honestly, premiums are going to be high. So please, if you guys trade this, understand that you might be risking a little bit more than normal. To the downside, look at 134, 133, 132, and 130 for Nvidia. Like I said, please have your patience. Next one is going to be Tesla. So we're itching by that 350 level. There's a lot of calls there, but honestly, just have your patience with this one too. See if it breaks above that 350. It's a key level to break. Once we break that, look at 355, 360, and 370. To the downside, if we don't break this 350 level, look at 346, 341.5, and then 340. Below that, look at 335 and 330. With that being said, though, guys, good luck trading today, man. Don't rush. Don't have FOMO. Good luck with everything. Comment down below how much money you guys made and some stocks that you guys are watching. Thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.